Hello friends, welcome to Nirmal Bang. I am Piyush Jain and today we are bringing to you another new IPO, a company which is coming from the manufacturing sector, I would say heavy industries, and the name of the company is Vibhor Steel Tubes Limited. And joining us on the show is the managing director, Mr. Vibhor Kaushik. Vibhorji, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's first start from the perspective about the company, how this company came about, what's the legacy, what is the sort of capacity you're working with.
We started this company in 2003. It was a fairly small company at that point in time. We only had one tube mill and we were making from half inch to 2.5 inches. And we were doing only the job work. So the procurement of the raw material wasn't in our hand. There were a lot of things that weren't in our hand, and there was a very small capacity. And that is in 2003. And then from there, uh, we have always been showing quite a lot of growth. From there, from half inch to 2.5 inches, we increased our size from 2.5 to 4 inches. Our sale was only 1,000 tons, and then it gradually reached 2,000 tons. Then we saw 5,000 per month.
Uh-huh.
Today we're sitting at a installed capacity of 2,20,000 tons. So we've come quite a long way. From a very small factory, we kept on expanding that factory in Maharashtra, and then in 2000, around about 2017, we put up another plant in Telangana,
Hmm.
uh, which which had added advantages of sizes. So, for example, in Maharashtra, we were only doing ground pipe of half inch to 8 inches, but in Telangana, we increased it to 12 inches. So, similarly, we kept on increasing our sales as well from 500 to 800, and now currently we stand at 1100 CR of turnover.
Right. So as I understand, basically you're making pipes for again basically bicycle frames. You're making for furniture, shockers. You're making for structural purposes. You're also making for engineering purposes. So are these pipes like going into those big water projects also? Like I'm
Yes,
not trying to understand the applications of the products.
yes. So the government has a lot of project where this pipe goes. Jal Yojana is a big one that has a lot of requirement for a pipe. So the one of the advantage of this product is that its application is very wide across a lot of sectors. It goes
Hmm.
into real estate, it goes into agriculture, it goes into fencing, it goes into carpentry, it goes into drip irrigation, structural, so engineering as well. So the application is quite vast. And yes, with India as a developing nation, as we keep coming up with a lot of infrastructure project, all of this has the requirement of our product, which is a black pipe and a galvanized pipe, round pipes.
Right. So you have ERW, you have galvanized pipes, you have hollow pipes, painted pipes, crash barriers. Among
Correct.
these, what are the top two revenue contributing categories?
So at this point in time, the top two revenue contributors are black pipe and galvanized pipes. So black pipe will take up around 65%, and the galvanized pipe will take up around 35%. From this year onwards, we have added crash barrier, which is a product for the safety. It is used in the highway. So that is a product we've come up in Telangana.
Okay.
And already we have a lot of order booking. Our order booking for just that product is running at around about 1,000 tons per month.
Hmm.
We've been delivering 500 to 600 constantly, but once we come up with Jharsuguda in Odisha, that will see a lot of added advantage of this crash barrier product.
Sir, ERW is a typical oil and gas product, right?
It goes into gas as well, yes. So domestic gas, uh, uh, MNGL also uses this. So yes, this, as I said, it has a
And
wide
and
application.
and are you also exporting into Middle East?
We are not exporting in Middle East, but we are exporting into Europe. Earlier,
Okay.
we have given this product to Egypt market, but at this point in time, most of our export sale goes into Europe. So Belgium,
Okay.
Netherlands, Germany, parts of UK also takes this product.
So, sir, right now let's understand the capacity here. What is the capacity utilization you're working for both ERW separately and the galvanized separately?
At this point in time, our utilized capacity stands at around 75 to 77%.
That's very
This,
good.
that is what we're utilizing at the moment. But
Uh-huh.
having said that, one of our more main focuses are to increase and add capacity. For example, now we are we are coming up in hollow sections as well, which is a square pipe and a rectangular pipe, sizes all the way from small as 25 mm by 25 mm to all the way at 250 mm by 250 mm. And
But where,
currently,
where,
as I
where are you
speak,
selling them? Where are you
this
selling
is
them, sir?
this is setting up, this is coming up in Telangana. This will
Okay.
cater to the market in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and parts of Maharashtra as well.
Okay.
And as I speak, currently we are doing a trial of one of our larger diameter, 250 by 250. So that will hit the production in the next 3 to 4 days. So that's another addition of value addition that we're doing to our already capacity.
So I just want to understand one thing. Say, there are three, four things. One is basically you're operating at almost 75% utilization, which is top class. At this utilization, your margins are almost the best. The next best comes when you're almost like completely out of your capacity. So your margins right now, EBITDA are somewhere around 4% last year. I'm not talking about the 6 months for this year, but closing of FY23. And then the PAT margin basically is somewhere around 1.92%, let's say. So around that. But from the other perspective, if I want to see, what's the asset turnover, sir, for your company?
It's around 20 times.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the reason why, because asset turnover is very, very good. 20 times is classic, and that is showing in your return ratios. So I was just trying to understand the dichotomy here, and it's good for the viewers to really know because they might feel confused when they look at the numbers, because the margins are almost 2% on a net PAT level, but the return ratios are very good. You're talking about return equity of 25%, FY23 closing, FY22 closing 17%, and then FY21 around 1%. So what really actually made this turnaround from almost 1% to 25%?
Well, about the capex that we put in and the asset turnover ratios, one of the reason why it's very high is that I myself is an engineer. So
Mm.
when we put up a plant or when we put up a machinery, it's because of my background. I have a lot of understanding of the machine. Therefore, a lot of the products, a lot of the equipment that we make, a whole lot of it is made in-house because I know the engineering of it. Therefore, when we
Mm.
put up any factory, any plant, any machine, we end up saving a lot of cost on it because we make it ourselves. For either we make it ourselves or we source it in the international market. If there is any asset which is available, which is top class, we try to get that. This is how we've reached here. For example, we got a machinery from a pipe mill from Australia, which gave us, which turned everything around for us because the same mill which used to make 1,000 tons in a month started making 3,500 tons in a month because we got that machinery from outside at a fairly good price, and it gave us a lot of production. That is why our asset turnover ratios are better than any one of our peers.
Right. And when I look at the numbers, there's another interesting story which is emerging out. Your net debt is actually around 127 crores at the end of FY23. And we are talking about an EBITDA of almost 47 crores. So between 2.5 3 times net debt to EBITDA at the end of FY23. And you are using the proceeds from this fundraising to cut down the debt. And that perhaps also will help you in further expansion plans also if you want. Help us understand, sir, like how much you're raising in this IPO, how much debt is going to sort of go off the books. Sir, we lost you. You're on mute now. No, no, sir. No, sir. You're on mute. Um, I, yeah. Because I think a call came and that's why I went on mute. Single star. सर को टाइम लग रहा है आने में. Whether you have to answer my question. आप बता सकते हो कितना फंड रेज कर रहे हो?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes sir. मैं समझ गया आपको कॉल आया होगा इस वजह से वो म्यूट पे चला गया होगा.
हाँ, अभी मैंने ये एयरप्लेन मोड में कर दिया है, तो this won't happen.
Yeah, it's good. I understood. तो अभी हम वो एडिट कर देंगे 2 मिनट का, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. अभी मैं आपसे क्वेश्चन वापस पूछता हूँ तो इट विल लुक लाइक हम लोग कॉन्वर्सेशन कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं. So sir, I'm looking at from another angle. Looks like net debt to EBITDA is somewhere between 2.53 times at the end of FY23. And since you're doing this IPO, you're going to get funds. You're going to use the funds for cut down the debt. That invariably also is going to give you room for further expansion. So help us understand how much funds you're raising in this IPO and how much borrowings is going to be repaid from the funds.
So we are raising 72 CR, and all of it is going to be utilized for our working capital. So our working capital will reduce by 72 CR. All of it will go towards it. So that will give us more room to able to increase our turnover, because now we're putting up a new plant in Jharsuguda that will require an additional working capital. So by raising this fund through the IPO, we'll be able to provide that additional turnover which we will have in Jharsuguda. So that is where the fund is going to be allocated.
Okay, and what is the cost of debt right now?
Cost to debt, I don't want to give a figure, but it's around 1.6. It'll come down to 1.1, around about that.
So cost of debt, interest percentage, sir. Interest percentage.
Oh, interest, sorry. That is around 8.5%.
8.5. Okay, that's not bad. Very competitive.
8.5%.
Right. So basically, if you are cutting down, that's going to save a good amount of interest for now. And what's the sort of the new capacity is coming, sir? By when? That should we expect that to ramp up in FY25 itself?
Yes, it should start getting the numbers added in FY25 itself. We are expecting that the first phase of our production should start by the end of Q1. So a lot of machinery we've already purchased. The boundary walls is done. The warehouses and all the facilities are coming together. So it looks like we should be able to pull it off by the end of Q1.
Oh, very nice. Even actually, if there is more ramp-up period, even if the second quarter also is being taken, but still you're going to have a very lumpy second half, and that is something which is going to be interesting, and our viewers should take note of that.
Right.
Versus your total capacity, sir, how much is this new addition which is going to happen? Could you give me like existing versus new capacity figure?
I think yes, sure. Existing capacity is 2.2. With the third unit coming in, our capacity will become 3.2 lakhs. And we should be able to achieve with the additional, we should be able to achieve around 40% of that in the first year itself, and that is our target.
Okay, and that is
So
very
the
interesting
40%
because
of the additional capacity should be utilized.
right, so that's almost a 50% expansion, and when we're talking about 50% expansion, it also implies that even if you're going to use 40%, there's roughly 20%. So basically, revenue growth, incremental revenue growth of 16 to 20% is coming from new capacity, at least in FY25. I'm just doing a back calculation for our viewers. Perhaps that could be something which could be
Yes.
interesting. And apart from that, your existing sort of market remains the same. So that's something interesting. This new capacity, sir, is following the same product, which is the galvanized pipe, or there is some value addition in that?
So in the first year, we will keep it simple. What is our strength? We will stick with that black pipe and galvanized pipes, and also it will see a lot of crash barrier manufacturing also that will take place in Odisha. So these three products definitely we will have in the first year itself, and then after that we will keep adding more value addition product in Odisha, such as octagon pole, high mass pole, and monopole. So that is to come in uh, years, next year maybe.
Right, sir. That sounds good. Just one question. What's your own sense? Because again, the funds raised will go into the working capital requirements. So, what's your own sense when you would like to actually lighten up your balance sheet over the next 3, 4, 5 years? Any major imagination?
I think we will follow the same projection that we've been following in the past. We are targeting to increase our turnover. We've seen that with the increase of turnover, the PAT improves and the PAT margins also improve, because
Mm-hmm.
this is a kind of a product which requires you to have a large turnover, because you have to keep a lot of it in your inventory. So as long as we are achieving good turnovers, we should be able to achieve healthy PATs and margins also, in terms of number, also in terms of margins also. And this is how we're going to proceed in the future as well. And more so now that we're doing value addition, that will give us our profit margins are going to be better. EBITDA margins, all of it going to be at least 1% higher with all these value additions that we're doing.
Right, sir. And perhaps my last question, sir. How's the pricing environment looking to you right now in India?
It is great. Although we do export, but our inquiries and our order booking is always full from the domestic, and this will continue to happen. And we're very glad that we're coming up in Odisha, because we have a lot of dealer network which is in Northeast, in West Bengal, in Odisha, and we've been supplying to them from Telangana, which was difficult. But now that we are going to be sitting in Odisha, it'll be very easy for us to cater to all these markets, all these dealers which have been associated with us over the few years. So for us, it's looking great. As India as a nation, it's in the right path. Everything looks stable. Uh, it, there's a lot of effort, stress towards infrastructure, and as long as infrastructure projects keep coming up, the demand for our product will always remain.
Okay, sir. With that positive thought and also a buoyant market, buoyant industry demand, I think we extend all the best wishes to you for your IPO and a very successful listing journey. And we also hope to get connected with you again whenever the results actually are being
Absolutely,
announced.
yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you.
And dear viewers, hope you enjoyed this conversation. For now, it's a wrap. It's a close on this.